When it comes to bud density, are there types of light that help with bud density?
Well, the sun. Sun is obviously number one. Let's say we've got the right genetics. The sun. That's what we're trying to duplicate. But whether it's like a HPS, ceramic metal halide, LED, the one real factor that's going to make a large difference is the intensity. So, you can do it with all of those, but it's the intensity of them that I think are going to make the difference of whether it's dense or not, if the potential exists. And that, again, intensity is just the strength, the amount of usable light that the plant can get, but also heat too. And that's where, HPS or the high intensity discharges were a little bit different than the current model of LEDs. The HPSs would get a lot hotter, so you have to run it a little bit further, which would get you less of that intensity. Whereas the LEDs are a little bit cooler, you can run it a little bit closer, you get that intensity. So intensity is important. LEDs, easy to achieve the right conditions all around for that, unless you got the sun.
I think a good example is CFLs, right? You try growing plants under CFLs flowering there, you're not going to get nearly as good as density as you would with a full spectrum LED. And it comes down to, like people say, it comes down to the intensity, right? The amount of PAR coming down on the plants. So I'm glad you mentioned that one.
Yeah, my first two official, technically, literally closet grows were with CFL bulbs. So it is possible, but you'll notice a difference when you step up your lighting.
Now, what about like the spectrum of light? Some people say that blue light could contribute to more airier buds versus red in the spectrum, which more red in the spectrum towards flowering. It's often said that helps with bud development, bud density. What are your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, it's funny. It's kind of like the cherry picking of information. You mentioned red and blue, and if you go back 5 years, we're talking LEDs, we're talking blurples, which is that combination of the red and blue lights. There are studies that absolutely say red light, and I mean it's proven, absolutely show that red light can promote bud set, promote flowering. There's also absolutely papers that say blue light is great because it keeps the stomata open, which means it can transpire more and it can get more CO2 in there. So just if you cherry pick that, you'd be like, well, all I need is a red and a blue light, right? No, it's monochromatic. They have run tests and they said, no, we can't just run red, we can't just run blue. But if we put the two together, that's where the whole kind of the blurple lighting came from. And we've advanced since then. White light captures all of the spectrums. And even with a white light, you look at the box, you look at your light, or HPS of the bulbs, you'll see that chart on the back. It'll have the wave, it'll have the color spectrums. You'll see that red and blue are both kind of almost equally represented, and everything else is a dip. So those can be a benefit to the plants and to the growth and denser buds, but individually there isn't like a silver bullet out there of, if I just add this nanometer, it's gonna be.
This clip is brought to you by AC Infinity. Use discount code MrGrowIt15 to save on any of their products.